Welcome to another edition of Tag TV. I'm your host, Roland Chick. We're going to be talking about one of the 4 P's of kinetic energy of why paintball can hurt. The first one is called the projectile. You and I know them as paintballs. Now, there's a wide spectrum. I'm not going to go into all the details, but some of the projectiles are too hard or too brittle. And so when I would get to too hard, what they call an elastic or inelastic collision, what you're looking for is an inelastic collision where you want the paintball to break all over the person to widen the surface. Imagine if I was to hit you with my fist. I usually hit the 2 knuckles, so I use a maximum transference of energy into the person. However, if I slap you like this or hit open, the surface area is a lot more and it hurts more on me than it does the person. Okay, less information or movement that's going through the body, and so you want it to break. If the ball is too hard, well, it's like shooting marbles. I don't know how else to say it. I mean, I'm trying to be over dramatic here, but this is what police use, and we have the rubber balls that that the police use for riot control. We're not supposed to have them, but we work with law enforcement, and we do. And man, these things hurt. And they use them on each other. Now they use real body armor, and I can see why. But again, if you have a paintball bounces off of you and usually sometimes it's because it's not what they call virgin shell. They ran it through again, and so they try to reboil it. Anytime you recook something, it never really tastes the same the first time. Well, it's the same thing when and you do this. It's not called virgin shell. It's they reformulate. I won't go into details, and they add more pig gelatin. Okay, so it actually becomes thicker and tougher. The paintballs are usually cheaper. Oh, so if I get the cheap paintballs, there you go. You got to buy what they call virgin shell, and it's only been processed one time, and then they stamp it and get it in there. The other thing about it is if there's oil in the paint. Now, again, it's not Gulf oil like petroleum. It's like a canola or sorbitol or soy oil. It's still oil, and so it tends to stain a little bit, and that's a completely different issue. Because if you try to wash it off and it doesn't get all the oil off first, then the pigmentation begins to set. We'll get into that in a second. But what happens if the oil begins to permeate the shell? The shell becomes more spongy. So old paintballs have a shelf life, and if it gets more spongy, when it impacts the person, it tends to bounce off. And if the ball doesn't break, you break. The other end of the spectrum is the balls are too brittle. Again, cheap paintballs, you stored them improperly, they're too cold, and so they just break outside the gun, so now you have goop inside. Again, that doesn't affect us too much as far as the kinetic energy, but again, you really need to buy good quality paintballs. There's a couple of areas you can skimp on. Paintballs is not one of them. Okay? Really, really key. On our field, we have completely locked this down. In our field, you have to use our paintballs. That's a money thing. It has become a money thing. We don't want to spend the money keep pressure washing and breaking our pressure washers to wash all the stuff off, but it was actually enforced by us because of the wildlife fishing game, because we're right next to the San Benito River. Our property goes into the river. Legally, we own part of the river. I don't know what you're going to do with the river, but we legally in it. So the other so wildlife fishing game is like, okay, well, as long as you're using PEG or polyethylene glycol paintballs, no oil, no starches, no anything like that, of course you can go in there. So we have completely, out of the 4 Ps, we've completely locked this one down. So as long as you're using ours, you'll be allowed to play. But also, since it's fragile and it's especially formulated, there's only 4 paintball parks in the world that use this highest grade formula. And I'll tell you why they only use it, because it's the most expensive. We wouldn't have chosen to do this, trust me. I'm a Californian, I'm green and all that, but I ain't that green. I'm a businessman, I'm not stupid. It actually costs me more money from a wholesale standpoint. I buy a skid of these things by the pallet. It costs me more wholesale than you and I can buy it at Walmart for $29.99. But there's a reason. There's a difference. Our paintballs don't hurt. You're just saying that. No, I can prove it. I can just take your shirt off, go over there, and I'll shoot you twice. One with a $30 paintball and one with a $60 paintball. Huge difference, and you'll feel it. Guys, I'm not trying to blow sunshine up your nose, but this is the facts. And I haven't seen it any other way. And when people come off our field, they're like, wow, this is so much more fun. We get higher return rates for clients because it doesn't hurt so much. We have people who will never play the sport again because it hurt too much. Hope that helps. Guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Can't wait for the next 4 Ps and see if I can help you out. Take care.